What's going on, guys? This is Dynasty 3890 here with another episode of Diamonds in the Rough. So we're back playing MLB 15 the show. We're playing Diamond Dynasty. And if you haven't seen the first episode of this series, I'll put a link in the description. There'll be something on the top left corner of the screen right now where you can click and watch the first episode where I talk about stars in their positions that you wouldn't expect them to be stars in. So lower overall cards that are better than what you would expect, that you can get cheap, that you can build a team that can contend with anyone. But you don't have to have those incredible high overalls. You don't have to spend money on it. You can keep your stubs to do whatever you want with them. So the first episode was pitching. This episode is going to be catchers, first baseman, and third baseman. So like corner infield and catchers. So we're going to go through some catchers first. And the thing is, these positions are actually kind of weak in the MLB right now. And a lot of people think, oh, catchers, first base, and third baseman, those are just, you put those big, tall, unathletic guys who can just hit home runs, but not anymore. Baseball's changed without all the performance-enhancing drugs and steroids. A lot of those positions are now more defensive-oriented. So we're gonna focus on those, and we'll find some hidden power spots in these lineups, in these positions too. So first we're gonna do is catchers, and first catcher we're gonna do is my backup catcher. He's in my squad. He's a backup for a couple reasons. One, he's pretty good fielding. He's got that 87 arm strength. It's David Ross, by the way, I forgot to mention. David Ross plays for the Cubs. 72 overall, 87 arm strength, so great. You're going to try to run on him, and that's not going to happen. But another stat I like about him is his power. Now, 62 power versus right-handed is okay, but 76 versus left-handed, that's pretty good. That's really good for a backup catcher. So I like to have him as my backup. He normally doesn't play, but if I need to have him pinch hit and have him try to get a home run as a lefty up, I'll do it. Or I know I can, if I have to do a double switch and I'm gonna have to take my catcher out, my backup's not some scrub. He's not too bad, and he costs literally nothing. Literally probably under 100 stubs. Good backup catcher with some pop. Next we're gonna go to is my two guys who I've been using to start, and they're actually first basemen. So we're still doing catchers, but both these guys have their first baseman with catcher's eligibility. So Carlos Santana, he can play catcher and third base. I wouldn't recommend him at third. I barely recommend him at catcher, but he can hit. I mean, 75 power, 75 contact versus lefty, 52 contact versus righty, which isn't the best, but 77 power versus righties and 65 power versus lefties is not bad. His arm strength is 79. I'm actually 78, so that's good enough, passable. He's got good durability too. I mean, I don't think I really imagine this. I mean, I've played 2 games with him, and yeah, he hit a 3 home run game and another solo home run game. He can rake. You can see those numbers don't lie. There's only 2 games, and I didn't want to switch him out, but the other guy I wanted to give them both a good try. But yeah, there's Carlos Santana, really good, and you can use him catcher, third, first. So if you're late in the game, you have to do a double switch. You're going to be moving people around. Versatility is important, guys. I highly recommend on your bench have people who can play multiple positions. It will help you out on defense. The other catcher I've been using, who I'm using right now, is Joe Mauer. Now, everyone's heard of Joe Mauer. Probably you guys think he's still a catcher, but no, he's a first baseman. They've moved him off it. Now, he's a better fielder than Santana, but he can't hit for the power. Now, his contact is great. 92 versus righties, 83 against lefties. Great. And his fielding's better. No pop, though. He's not going to be a home run guy. I mean, as stats with him, I played 5 games. He's in 333. He does have a home run, but he's mostly a singles guy. I've given him a good honest effort. 5 games, that's not too bad. And he can hit for an average. Not much of a power guy, but he's better fielding than Santana. If I had to pick between one and the other, I'd probably go with Santana because that bat is a difference maker. But we're going to go to one more catcher. I don't have on my squad, but I will show you guys him. And he's also a first baseman who can play catcher. He used to play catcher. He's on Detroit. He is Victor Martinez. Now he's a little, normally I see these are like bronze or silver cards I usually go after. And this is a gold. He's a first baseman, but there's a but on this one. Guy can completely rake. 95 contact versus right-handers, 93 contact versus left-handers. He can't field, but he can rake. He can hit. He can hit like the best of them, and you get. It's a different, when you have a catcher who can hit, that's an extra bat in the order when most people don't have that bat. That's a difference maker right there. I mean, sure, you can go out and go spend, get a Yeti or Molina, go get Johnny Bench. I mean, those are really expensive. I'm not sure how much Martinez goes for. I can actually go check, but I bet he's under, yeah, I was going to say around 5,000 was going to think at. So that's not too bad. For a catcher with that type of hitting, that is, if you can afford it, that is worth it. Alright, so that's it for catchers. I got about 4 there. We're gonna go to first baseman now. The first option we're gonna go to plays for Toronto. Now he's also a gold, but again, he's 86 overall, so it's not like a high gold. It's one of the lower overall golds. Edwin Encarnacion. 6,500 is what he's going up for. That's, like I said, it's a little more pricey than what we normally like to do in this series, but that's all right. Let me show you his stats. 94 power versus righty, 92 power versus left-hander. He can also play third. So you got him at first, you got him at third. There's not a lot of power bats at third base. He's great for both. So I mean that bat, you can't. It's so hard to find power first baseman and third baseman. And him and Jose Abreu are the big ones I like. I haven't used him yet. I really want to get him. I've tried him in like a home run derby. His swing's great. It's a really easy swing to get, for me at least, to get used to. So if you guys can shell out the stubs from him, I definitely recommend him. But if you're going for a little bit of a cheaper option, that's okay. I got you covered. We're gonna go to Houston next. We're gonna go to the strikeout king, as in he strikes out the most in the major leagues every year. But he strikes out because he goes for them home runs. It's Chris Carter. Chris V. Carter. Now he's a 78 overall. He doesn't do anything except hit for power. He's at 89 power versus right-handers, 87 power versus left-handers. Legit power. You can also play the outfield, but stick him at first. That's where his best value is. There's more outfielders that you can use. It's a right-handed bat too, so if you're playing at Fenway, you might want that right-handed bat. But if you're playing at Yankee Stadium, you're gonna want a left-handed bat. So remember that too when what your home ballpark is. Build your team around that. Now when you play on the road, okay, it doesn't help you there, but half the time, I mean, in theory, half the time you're playing at home, so build your team around your home lineup, home ballpark. So here's Chris Carter. He doesn't go for much. Great power bat. Next, we're gonna go to the New York Mets, and this is even a little bit of a cheaper option if you don't want to get him and you want a left-handed bat. We got Lucas Duda. Now he's mostly a power versus right-hander guy, but he can hit for a little bit more average than Chris Carter. Now he's got 84 power versus right-handers, 66 contact. Still not that good for contact. He can't hit lefties. Don't leave him in against lefties. But he can really hit against those right-handed pitchers, and he's really cheap. I mean, he might be a good bat off your bench. You need a pinch hitter late in the game. We can also play first. He also has eligibility in the outfield, so you can use that too. But if you need a home run late in the game, you're going to have a pinch hitter. Very cheap option there. You can work with that. Last option at first base, we're going to go to Cleveland. There we go. And he's actually a outfielder in this, but he does have first base eligibility. It's Brandon Moss. Now he has more power than Duda. He's got 89 power, 72 versus lefties. Not much of a fielder. He's got a good arm, so you can put him in right and you can get away with it. That's why his position's right. Solid contact, low 60s, nothing really great, but legit power on the left-handed side of the play against right-handers. There's another option. I'm giving you guys a little bit of a mix because I know not every swing is good. Like, I've used Giancarlo Stanton, didn't like him. I just could, the way his stance, the way his swing was, I could not get used to it, so I sold him. I mean, not every player fits for you, so just remember that. If you're struggling with a guy, it may be because the swing isn't a fit for you, which is perfectly fine. Happens to all of us. So that is our options at first. Now we're going to be going to third base. I'm going to go back into my squad because I got a couple of third basemen who I want to talk about who I have on my squad, including my starting third baseman. Because what he can bring is Manny Machado from the Orioles. What he can bring is he can field. He can he'll catch everything. And I am a guy who, I'll try to get strikeouts. Worst case, I want ground balls. I don't want you to be hitting home runs against me. I want you to be hitting ground balls. So I want good defense on my left side of my infield especially. So Manny Machado with 92 fielding, a great arm at 86 arm strength, 84 arm accuracy, and his good contact, mid-70s contact, not much power, but I like his swing. I mean, I've been hitting well with him in 8 games. I'm hitting 360. Only 1 home run. The power's not there. Hasn't made an error yet. Fielding is great. Said 20 throws to first, 20 assists, or to a base, and he hasn't made an error. So he's been great for me. Can't argue with that at third base. Next, we're going to go to, where is he? Chris Johnson, 76 overall, bronze card from the Atlanta Braves. Right-handed hitter. And not sure if you can see it on the left-hand side of your screen. 98 contact versus left-handers. Yeah, that's really good. He's, like I said, another option off your bench. I would not recommend starting him, but if you got that guy, lefty specialist in the bullpen. Bring him in. He's not going to hit for home runs, but I mean, it's going to be easy to make solid contact, and hopefully it finds a hole. I would recommend that, especially if you're going against, let's say, someone's got like a Chapman throwing 102. It's so hard. I mean, he's got that. I mean, they're throwing that slider. It's so hard to guess that, right? Well, his strike zones, I mean, his swing zone is going to be so much bigger than anyone else's. You're going to be able to hit a lot more pitches. That's a really smart guy to have on your bench to get that hit when you need it. End of games, you need those hits. You need those guys on your bench. You got to have a good bench to win these games. Next, we're going to be going to the Miami Marlins. I don't have this player, so we are going to have to go into the card collection. Here we go. And this is a player who's bounced around in the league the last couple years, but he's a really solid player. Played for the Yankees last year. Martin Prado. Again, now he's a little bit of a higher Chris Johnson. 95 contact versus lefties, but he's got 72 contact versus righty, which is really good. His fielding's not the best. Arm strength is really good. So I mean, if he's gonna stop the ball, he'll make the throw. So you don't have to worry about that. Not much of a power guy. But another thing I like about Martin Prado is his versatility. Excuse me. Durability is 87. That's what I saw. His versatility is great. I mean, he can play third, he can play second, he can play left, he can play right. He's a utility guy. If you're going to be doing double switches and you need to move someone around, you can move him. I mean, you could sneak him in center field as well if you want to. I wouldn't probably put him at shortstop. I know he's got the arm, but that fielding and his reaction's pretty low, so he's not going to get to those balls like in the hole or up the middle. But yeah, you can sneak him starting on your team if you're on a budget. He can hit for contact, not much of a power guy. And then the last guy we're going to go to for third base is on the Detroit Tigers. He's actually a shortstop, but he's played third base in his career before, so he's eligible at both. It's Jose Iglesias, and he's just a fielder. He's a cheaper version of Manny Machado. If you just don't like his swing, you want someone a little cheaper. I mean, he's got 89 fielding, 82 arm strength. The arm strength's a little low for third, but you can get away with it. 89 fielding's legit. He's gonna get to those balls. Contact's in the low 70s, so that's passable. No power, literally nothing. 29 power versus righties, 39 versus lefties. But you know what? He's going to play great defense. He'll probably hit high 200s if you're a good hitter, low 300s if you're a good hitter. That's not bad. Put him as your number 8 hitter. You're going to be okay with that. You won't complain. The fielding's there. I think fielding is very important in this game. Because it can be hard to, I mean, you think it's easy to get outs, but when they make contact, you need to stop the ball. You need to make sure you don't let the guys get to first. Fielding is very important. So that's everything I got, guys. I did catchers, I did first base, I did third base. We're going to be doing, our next video will most likely be shortstops and second baseman. But let me know, guys, who have you found who you've used at catcher, first, or third base that you really liked, who's under the radar, that you wouldn't expect him to be as good as he is? Let me know in the comments, guys. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you are new. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a nice day.